Just want to mention that I've been giving a little more attention to the Twitter account, and we're starting to get some traction within the community, the wider crypto community. If people were, if everyone here even were able to just retweet the tweets that are getting so many likes, it would make a huge difference. It would amplify the message considerably.
And if you don't mind, Greg, if I just have something to add to that, actually, retweeting is the best thing, but also liking the tweets is great, because then everybody that follows you would know that you liked that tweet. So just liking the tweets or replying to them is also a very helpful action, just so you know.
It is a helpful action. Retweet is only one extra click more than liking.
No, I agree with that. I'm just saying, just for people who don't know, when you like something, it does show up. It has the potential to show up on the people that you follow on their timelines or feed.
Yeah, I mean, one other thing I would say in that same light, LinkedIn, if we can do the same things, whereby if we can post things and people like and or forward to their groups, that'll be good too. I think we can get started with the technical update. I was Atlassian had changed their client, so I was having a little bit of technical trouble earlier this morning. I will publish the update, community update 140 shortly, but I will speak to what we've been working on from the GitHub accounts right now, from the GitHub account and the compare. So we have currently all the nodes are running 09.25.4. We are just about ready to release 09.25.5. Which basically it has some proxy safe settings on LMDB because we're trying to resolve some of the data corruption issues that we were running into earlier. So the proxy safe seems to have fixed some of those. As well, we updated the LMDB version to the latest, the 8.1 version. So those are some of the changes. The other things in 09.25.5, I guess I'm not sharing my screen. Let me. The other changes in 09.25.5, this basically what you're looking at here is a comparison between 09.25.5 and 09.25.4. So the other changes here are changes that we worked on for a little while that were part of the 09.26 work, which is the last finalized state work, but are able to be independently taken into this release. So those are the pieces that are being released right now. So in some sense, it's a minor release. It fixes some of the bugs. That's what it is. And we will be updating the testnet with this release today or tomorrow, and also the observer nodes on the mainnet with this. That's the plan for 09.25.5. Separately, most of the focus at this time is on block merge, and the team is working through the issues. There are basically two streams of work on block merge that we're going through. One stream is to say, okay, if there are no conflicts, are there any issues in merging the blocks? That's NetZipper is kind of working on that and putting in place PRs to enable that. And the second part is to take the spreadsheet of conflicts, what should be mergeable, what is not mergeable, and then having and making sure that the code is working accordingly. So Will and Tomislav are looking at that piece, and that's making progress. So we will, I don't know right now when, but at some point in the near future, we should have at least some release of block merge that we can, it doesn't necessarily mean that it'll immediately go to production or anything like that, but at least we'll start making releases. So that's where we are with the block merge. And I think I did mention last time that there is a bug that we had seen in our space where sometimes the entire message and entire message is, I'm not sure if encoding is the right word, but is being hashed. And sometimes only part of that is, but that's on the back burner for now. It's something that we will get to after we're done with the block merging. Meanwhile, as we work on the dependencies, we are seeing that we're really getting to a point where, whether small or large, we need to make some changes in the code to really move forward with some of the dependencies. So that work is ongoing. Of course, we're picking up only pieces that we really need to work on at the moment and do the small changes so that we don't, we don't get distracted into things we need to do. But at some point, the protobuf stuff, how it is currently being used, needs to be updated. We need to be able to update to the latest protobufs and perhaps remove some of the custom code that's there in the database right now. But that's significant change. I mean, not a super significant like in a block merge or something like that, but it'll take some effort. So those are all things we will have on separate branches if possible, and we will work on those as we get to them without losing focus on block merge as the primary focus. So we're doing bits and pieces of the other strands of work as needed for block merge. So that's basically where we are on the development track. We have had, we started, the marketing of the hackathon has started thanks to Dan Connolly primarily and others. The hackathon page and the learning resources for the hackathon are substantially improved. So if you have not looked at the hackathon page, take a look at and that actually I can, I guess, briefly show you. Let me share. So in here, let's see. So here, these are all highlighting the tools and the Blockly and the Rholang playground are a couple of new things that Dan has plugged into, and there are some items here to kind of show an animation of the VS Code extension, how that works. So there's a lot here that I think is very useful, and some from earlier, as you can see here, but some updated and or created new by Dan Connolly. So take a look at that. And so we're starting to market the hackathon. Let me see what else. I see there is a comment from somebody. Let me see what that is, or a couple of chat items. Okay, yeah, Nora is pointing out that this is the link where people can register. Feel free to promote that to all your groups, tweet, LinkedIn, whatever it is that you want to do. We're beginning to do that. So, and in a few days, maybe starting next Wednesday or something, we'll have more reporting on the number of registrations that we're seeing and things like that. By next week, I expect to have at least a decent count of registrations on the on the hackathon. So those, I think, are the main items that I wanted to share today. And is there anything else, Greg, that you think should be highlighted from a technical perspective?
No, I think that was good. I think, you know, for people who want to dive a little deeper, you know, I strongly suggest you take a look at the pull requests that are being issued now. Essentially, what we're looking at with respect to the merge part of the block merge is finding the shortest path to get from the data out to the store. So there are a couple of different ways we can go, but NutZipper is essentially trying to look at the history action path and see if that's the you know, what's the best way to use that API. But if you're interested, please take a look at the pull requests that are ongoing. Raul, did we end up deciding whether or not we should set up a second network so that people could take a look at the block, the non-conflicting block concurrency?
So we were going to do that once NutZipper has the opportunity to kind of start looking at that monitoring tool stuff. So he's got a couple of streams of work, and that's, I think, third on his list. So as he gets time to put that up, because I mean, to have a network but not be able to make sense of it doesn't help. So we want to have the monitoring tool set up progress a little bit before people can start, so people can make sense of it, basically, as well as it will help our testing. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions for Raul? Okay, moving on then. Yesterday was the official board meeting. There was only one resolution that comes to mind, and that was just simply approving the past minutes. So the minutes that are up on GitHub have all been approved. I believe we're up to date with the exception of the last board meeting. But everything else was largely informational discussion. I want to remind people when it comes to the votes in the AGM for the director seats. It's uncontested, and so if you have any issues for any candidates, you can also vote no. So otherwise, the rank ordering of the votes will simply determine their time on the board. So any questions about that? Okay, then. All right. Also, as of now, there are no items of business submitted. So if you have an item of business that you would like to consider, it's the deadline for that is getting very, very close. So please, if you have anything, do submit it right away. Also, we're coming up on the deadline for getting in your Rev address. So if you haven't submitted your Rev address by the 20th, I believe, then you will be unable to vote in this election. Speaking of voting, we have a really nice presentation by Dan that shows how to use the voting application. And I think Ian also did a walkthrough in the community debrief last time. So we do have an on-chain voting application that will do everything that we wanted it to. I think we're looking at potentially a ranked option feature. It's not necessary given the current items of business, but it is something that we have had in the past. Please, if you haven't had a chance, familiarize yourself with the RVote application, because that's the application that we will be using to conduct the AGM votes. In order to use that application, you will have to have a rev address that you've submitted to the co-op, and the date for the date at which that's all frozen is the 20th of October. So I hope everyone is already signed up, and everyone you know that has any interest, they've also signed up and submitted their rev address. Any questions on those topics? All right, go ahead.
Oh, the way to submit your rev address is all the members were sent a notice of annual meeting, and in that notice, everyone has a unique link that they can use to submit their rev address. So the instructions are in that email. It went out some time ago.
So not related to rev address, but there is one item I forgot to mention. I would like the community's help creating test questions in JavaScript, Rholang, Scala, whatever your expertise is, because we'll be using those questions for the qualifying test for the hackathon on October 31st. So if any of you can jump in, help with that activity, please ping me, and I can get you set up with the question editing framework. So look forward to community participation.
Indeed. Okay. I don't think I have any other burning issues. There are other issues from anyone. I know that Daryl needs to give the community in review, so let's let him do that, and then see if there are any other burning issues. Daryl, are you ready?
Yep. Hey, Greg. Hey, everybody. So here's the week in review for Thursday, October 1st to Wednesday, October 7th. Last Thursday in the governance committee call, the governance committee reviewed the bylaws and discussed a contested versus uncontested election. The election for board members for this year's annual general meeting will be uncontested, as Greg just mentioned. More information regarding election details will be provided to co-op members. On Friday at the climate coordination call, we discussed the concept of natural capital, and we talked about Marilyn Waring and a new generation of advanced climate modeling technology. We also discussed the 2035 ban on gas-run cars in California, as well as the wider coordination issues with regards to climate and healthcare. On Saturday, the RChat call, meeting attendees reviewed open GitHub issues for RV 2020. Issues were updated, reassigned, and closed. Attendees agreed that our vote is ready to be used by the co-op members for voting at the annual general meeting. The governance committee on Thursday will vote to send their recommendation to RChain secretary to use our vote for the 2020 AGM. Let's see, last Monday in Casper Stand-Up, they covered the category of graphs as satisfying the requirements for a notion of collection that generalizes set in the structure types construction. And I should have that up hopefully later today. Tuesday, Communications Working Group, we discussed the updates to the website and the new hackathon page. We also discussed bringing in a third party for web PR and SEO stuff. We also discussed the voting app and how we can demonstrate on-chain voting after the AGM. And I should mention that Steve and myself are working on a walkthrough for the layperson for the voting process. And Dan's amazing voting in Rholang presentation. I'm also editing that right now, and it should be up on the blog hopefully later today. Let's see. And then this morning at the members hangout in Jim's room, the attendees discussed the China AMA with Greg on QQ this morning. Special thanks to Juju for helping with with me getting QQ set up. Jim demonstrated the web RNode API, which showcases Try, Rholang, Blockly, and more. Visit rchain.coop/hackathon, dApp developer APIs and tools for the web RNode API link. Steve Henley discussed the new RDev-co-op channel in Discord, which will be used to discuss the future workers co-op. The first meeting for the RDev co-op will be Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, in Jim's Zoom room. A meeting notice and information will be posted on the RDev-co-op Discord channel. And that brings us to right now.
Great. Any questions for Daryl? Right.
I had a general question.
Sure.
I was wondering if there's going to be a deadline for people to sign up for the hackathon.
Yes, there is. Wow.
Yeah, it's basically until the day before the test, which is October 31st. So
Okay.
they can register up to that time. But because we're using the test as the qualifying, they
Right.
have to register before then. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. Any other questions, comments, concerns? All right. So it looks like we've completed yet another community debrief. Thanks to all for your engagement. I'm very excited about everything all the developments, right? We are fulfilling our promises to the community and at the same time developing some pretty exciting new dApp opportunities and funding opportunities for the co-op. So looking forward to discussing more of that in the Friday closed door session. Everyone, please stay safe and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.